first player ever to win the MVP in back-to-back years at the All-Star Game. How does that make you feel?
It feels awesome. I can't explain the feeling right now. Just the whole environment, whole experience. It's been so fun. It's awesome.
And how do you explain that Zach Greinke hasn't given up a run since June 13th, and you had a homer off him to start this game?
Yeah, no, I just tried not to do too much. Put a good swing on the ball. Got 2 strikes. Calmed me down a little bit. I was a little amped up first couple pitches, and just put a good swing on it and went over the fence.
I know. What's the deal with the cars? Which one are you going to choose this time?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the truck. I went with the car last year, and I live out in the woods, so I'm gonna go with the truck.
And what happened to the car last year? Who was driving that one?
Yeah, no, it's back in the garage. It's basically up for grabs. Whoever wants to take it for a spin, but it's definitely mine. Okay,
now what happens tomorrow? What are you doing on your off day with Todd Frazier? Explain, please.
Yeah, no, we're just after this, we're gonna take a flight back to Jersey. Spend some time with him, on the flight, and he's happy to go back home, relax these next couple of days, and have a good second half.
Right, and he's the competitor tonight, but it's okay to go home and fly with the competitor. Is that right?
Oh, for sure. Jersey boys stick together. He's a great dude. He has a great family. He met his family today, and it's going to be fun.
Okay, Mike, thanks so much. Back to you.
No matter how the election turns out this year, Chris Christie could do a lot worse than having Mike Trout and Frazier right along with him. Very popular guys for sure across the country. You see it, multiple All-Star Game MVP awards. Nobody has done it in back-to-back years until now. And Mike Trout's on the list with Carter, Garvey, Willie Mays, and Cal Ripken Jr. And I think it's a good time to kind of pause and reflect on the youth in the game. We had 20 guys that were 25 or younger. That's never happened before. And he's not the guy that you necessarily sort of think about who steals the spotlight as far as off the field, but on the field, nobody seems to do it better and almost more quiet. It's very Jeter-esque with more power.
It's good to be Mike Trout, isn't it? When you're choosing between a truck and a car every single year. Sure. You know what's really cool, too, is that here's Mike Trout, a star player at age 23, and yet when all of the American League All-Stars came out, first Dallas Keuchel, Josh Donaldson, Albert Pujols, when we ask questions of those guys about Trout starting this game with a home run, they're all glowing. There's no resentment because they feel like that Trout really appreciates this. He's someone who handles the spotlight well. And I think to a man, people around baseball say, yeah, Mike Trout's the best player in baseball, and we love that.
Well, I think one of the things that made Jeter was that the players liked him. The players rooted, not just the Yankees. He didn't root for him, but you always enjoyed
just
what
never
he did.
got in his own way. He didn't defend anybody.
Mike Trout, we've talked about, I think he's going to be the best player I've ever seen. And I think and tonight was one of those reasons. Home run, base running, speed, all of that stuff is why he can beat you with everything. And in this group, when I think all the players acknowledge that he's the best there. And when you do that here, that's a little bit different.
Pretty good 48 hours for the Jersey boys.
Yeah,
they're flying home together, I get that, but pretty good 48 hours for Frazier and Trout.
And pretty good 48 hours if you are the Yankees or perhaps the Kansas City Royals or maybe the Angels or maybe the Astros, because you know this, Game 1 of the World Series is going to be in your ballpark.
No doubt. Ned Yost, delighted to have that again. He did say that it helped them in Games 1 and 2 and even helped them in Game 6 and 7. The problem was Bumgarner was on the mound in Game 7. They could have been playing anywhere. They weren't going to beat him last year.